When you are writing code in Java, one of the most famous operations that you would do are pre-increment and post-increment. Young developers often struggle with the concept of what pre-increment does and what post-increment does and how that affects your code and its output. So in today's example, I will show you what is the difference between pre-increment and post-increment so that you can be more aware in which context should you use which operation. So let's get into the system and let me show you. Here, let's suppose you have two integers, int a, and I'll assign it a value of 5, and let's create another integer b and also give it the value of 5. Now, in the first case, I will do a post-increment, and in the second case, I will do a pre-increment. When I run this, see what happens. So if you look at it, when you do post-increment, the value of a5 still remains 5, but when you do a pre-increment, the value of b becomes 6. The reason is when you are doing two operations in the same line, so here you are doing an increment and you are also printing it out. Post-increment means that it will first do the printing and then do the increment. That is why when it is doing the printing, a still has the value of 5, which is what you see in the output, and then a gets increased. But in case of pre-increment, it first does the increment, then does the operation. So that's why b gets increased to 6 and then the output becomes 6. Another way that you can use your pre or post increment is as follows. Let's say you have another integer c and you have another integer d as 5 as well. Now, sometimes people assign c equals c++ or just d++, but notice how the output changes. Output of c and then the output of d. Now watch how the output changes. So what you see here is that the value of c is still 5, but the value of d has increased to 6. Well, why is that? The reason is here again you are doing two operations. You are doing an increment and you are doing an assignment. And as we talked earlier, when you do a post increment, the increment operation happens later, the other operation happens first. So here what happens is the value of c, which is 5, gets assigned to c, then the value gets increased, but that does not get saved anywhere. So c still remains as 5, and that is what you see in the output. But in case of d, since here is only one operation that you are doing, that is why the output of d becomes 6. So the lesson here is simple. When you are doing increments via double plus sign, make sure you are doing it in a separate line by itself, or if you want to combine two or more methods, be mindful of the behavior of pre and post increment and accordingly choose which one you want to use. Hope that helps.